Hey Dr. Tran, this is Brian from Leadhounds, and in this video I'm going to show you three things that you can start doing to bring in more patients through your website. So you might be asking yourself, why would this guy just show me this stuff for free? Can't I just go do it myself and take advantage of the extra business? And the answer is yeah, you absolutely can do that. But what I've found is that most small businesses don't have the time to worry about perfecting their website or showing up on Google searches. So if you do have the time, that's great. I encourage you to use what you learn in this video. But if you don't and you think you could use some help with this stuff, then just give me a call or shoot me an email after you're done watching and we can talk about next steps. Okay, so I mentioned those three strategies, but before we get into that, I want to talk about the goal of those strategies. And that's going to center around what's called buyer intent keywords. So that's basically a word or a phrase that someone's going to search on Google when they want to purchase a service. So in the case of Tran plastic surgery, that could be a lot of things. I know you do a lot of treatments, but we've been working with medical spas lately, and I know you do aesthetic treatments. So we're going to talk about Botox right now. But just want to remind you, you could run through this example with any of the services you provide. So let's look at this keyword, Botox Miami, right? I went ahead and searched that on Google, and let's see what we find. Okay, so at the top here, we have what's called the organic listings, right? And these are the websites that show up without having to pay Google, like in, a Google ad or something. Right? And these are what's going to get the majority of the traffic, the clicks from searches like this. The reason these searches are so important is because, they describe a service that you provide, right? Someone's searching this, they're looking to get Botox. And also, it says Miami, right? That means if anyone is searching this, they're in Miami and they're looking for someone who can help them out in that area, which is where you guys are located. Okay, so yeah, vast majority of the clicks are going to go to these websites. So then you might ask, well, how many people actually search this stuff? Do I even care about this keyword Botox Miami? Well, we can actually answer that question with this tool called Ahrefs. And right here, you can see that keyword Botox Miami. And we see that it gets 1,000 searches every single month, right? There's also a ton of other keywords like Botox and Miami. Miami Botox, I mean, that's another 250 searches. Miami Beach Botox, right? Like all of these, easily over 3, maybe 4,000 people searching for this service in your area every single month. And if you're not showing up on the Google results for those searches, then none of these people are going to find your website. So why don't we look at the keywords that you are showing up for? So I searched Dr. Tran Cosmetics on Ahrefs, and let's take a look at your keywords. Okay, so here's your list. Let's just sort these so that we see which ones you rank the highest for. Sorry, just one second. There we go. Okay, so you do have a few you're coming up first for, but let's look at those. So Baltram Tran, that's you, right? Dr. Tran. So all these ones where you're coming up first have your name in them, right? That means it's probably, patients that already know about you, not new patients. And that's why those buyer intent keywords are so important because they're going to get you new patients who don't have a provider yet. But let's scroll down a little bit more. So, okay, so after those first ones with your name, it drops off a bit, right? Apps, Miami, plastic surgery. I'm not sure what that one is. Then after that, you're in the 10th position or higher for all of these. And not many of these have that Miami piece of the keyword, right? So we don't know where these people are searching this from, right? So if you're not really in the top 10, then you're not going to be getting too much traffic from these because people don't really scroll past the first page to get to a business that they want to work with. So let's look at what your competitor is ranking for. So this is Miami Skin and Vein. I think they came up first for that Botox keyword. And let's look at their list. Okay, so right here, right away you can see that they are doing this right. You see that keyword from before, Botox Miami, and they're in the #1 spot. Botox and Miami, right? 1,200 searches, #1 spot, right? What else? They got lip fillers on here too, #1 spot. So that means they're getting the majority of the traffic from all of these keywords, right? And that's new patients that are going to be going to their website and probably booking appointments. So how can you beat them out for these top spots? Well, that comes back to those 3 strategies that I mentioned at the start of the video. And the first of those is going to be the content on your website. What I mean by that is literally the words on your site. Because what Google likes to see is about 1,500 to 2,000 words of content that uses those keywords on the home pages of its top businesses. So right here we're on drtrancosmetics.com. Let's take a look at your content. Okay, so you have a good amount there. Okay, we'll scroll down a little more. Got another good piece. And right, so we're at the bottom, and it looks like you have about maybe 300 or 400 words of content. So that's a great start, but not quite that 1,500 word minimum that Google wants to see. So let's look at your competitor, Miami Skin and Vein. We'll just scroll down their website. Let's see, they have some right there. Go down, they have a couple blurbs right here. A little more. And yeah, there we are at the bottom. So they probably have not too much more, maybe 600 or 700 words. So they have more than you, but I can tell you that they're not going to be too difficult to beat because they don't have that much content, right? So as long as you add those 1,500 to 2,000 words, you're going to start winning in the content department on Google. Okay, so let's move on to the second strategy, which is called backlinking. And so a backlink is when another website posts a link that goes to your website. And what that does is it tells Google, #1, that you're a credible business, right? Because if they see other websites, other companies linking to you, right, sending their own users to you through that link, it gives them more trust. And #2, it tells them what you're relevant to, right? Because if you have websites linking to you that are from other medical spas or articles talking about Botox, lip fillers, plastic surgery, then that's going to be more relevant and thus more valuable to Google than, say, a link from a food blog. Okay, so we can see that you already have 31 backlinks, so that's a great start. But let's look at Miami Skin and Vein. So right here we see that they have over 300 backlinks, right? So they have 10 times as many. And just because of that, we can easily tell, one of the main reasons that they're beating you for all these high value keywords, right? They have way more backlinks. So what can we do about that? Well, we can actually see the websites that they're getting these backlinks from, right? And we can go through these and get a link from every single one. And that way we're going to be matching the strategy that they're using to get those top spots. We don't want to stop there, right? We want to add 100, 200 more backlinks and just keep adding them so that we're always going to be blowing them out of the water. Okay, so that's backlinks. Let's talk about one more strategy, which is the Google Map Pack. So that's this section of the search results where you have this map right here. You have 3 featured businesses. And this is going to be really important because these 3 businesses actually get about 30% of the clicks from searches like this. So how do you get in these top 3? Well, one strategy we like to use is called citations. So a citation is when, it's kind of like a backlink, except instead of linking to your website, it links to your Google Maps listing. So those are basically business registry sites like Yelp, Yellow Pages, stuff like that. So what we can do is something very similar to backlinking, where we can look at the top competitor, in this case Smith & Co. Botox, and we can get citations from all the websites that they have them from. And of course, we want to go above and beyond and add 100 extra ones so we can make sure we're beating them. And on top of that, we want to go through and and make sure we're optimizing your Google Maps profile, filling out all the different fields that they let you. We can geotag your photos so that they tell Google where to send your patients, right? And finally, we can respond to your reviews so that you're interacting with your audience. And all this stuff, is stuff that Google will reward by moving you up in the map rankings. Okay, Dr. Tran, those are those three things I wanted to mention. Again, that's the content on your website. I want to make sure we have more content than your competitor, about 1,500 words. Then we want to do the same with backlinks. We want to make sure you have 100, 200 more backlinks than them. Finally, we want to get you in those top 3 map positions so you can get that extra traffic. Okay, thanks so much for watching this video. I really hope it was valuable to you. If it was, then just give me a call or shoot me an email after you're done watching and we can talk about next steps. All right, thanks.